So today we're going to be lowering the Ignis Sport. This is the old shock absorber. This is a new spring, and we're going to try and fit them. Unfortunately, to get parts on this Ignis Sport, it is pretty difficult. This OEM shock absorber is slightly bent at the top, and trying to get a different part for this car is literally impossible. Unless you go to a couple of the breakers, there's literally like 2 people that break these cars. Unfortunately, I was a bit thick before I bought these and didn't go to those people. So if these don't fit, I'll be hitting them up. But hopefully they do, because these are brand new and they're not going to have any issues. Luckily, I bought them from AutoDoc, so I do have like a 300-day guarantee that I can return them in. But they do look pretty much exactly the same. The new ones are a little bit shorter. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but they have all the right slots like that in all the right places, and I bought some brand new top mounts as well because those ones are probably absolutely knackered. So let's try and fit these as quick as possible because it is getting dark in the UK as it gets dark at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll see if we can do it today. If we can't do it in the next hour or so, I'll be back tomorrow, probably in some different clothes. So because the weather in the UK is absolutely dog awful, I've decided to come inside and try to unpackage this and build it up inside rather than being outside in the cold. So I then got the spring compressors on top of the spring and tried to take the spring off. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so I was trying to be very, very careful. As you can see, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. They were just spinning, so that's why I put the mole grips on top of the thing in the middle. It then come off nice and easily, as you can see, but because I don't know what I'm doing, putting it on the new shock absorber, I didn't have a fucking Scooby. I literally spent about an hour trying to position this spring in the right place. Now pay very close attention to the thing on the floor right next to my left knee. This goes underneath the top mount, and it is where the spring sits. I think this is causing some issues that you'll see later on in the video. Because it's angled, I don't think I put it in the right way, and it did cause some problems. As you can see, it's now the next day, and we're now putting the new shock absorber into the car. Unfortunately, I'm not a very good YouTuber and I didn't get any footage of me actually putting the shock absorber in. It did take a little while because I was concerned about the ABS line, but this is just me tightening up all the bolts and making sure that it's not going to fall off while I'm driving. So of course, because it is the suspension, you should do everything in pairs. We're now doing exactly the same on the passenger side. We're going to take the shock out, we're going to put a new spring in and exactly the new shock. As you can see behind my massive head, there is a blowtorch there because the bolts were literally welded in. So we had to get some power and some heat on it.
There we go, that was semi-successful.
Fucking hell, mate, you could be a bit happier about it. You have just spent the last 2 hours doing it. So we have now fitted both shock absorbers with both lowering springs on the car. That was the passenger side, and this is the driver's side. Looking all fancy and all good and all working and stuff.
Sexiness, making the Bible sexy, being all sexy and that sexy.
So now I think it's time to put the driver's seat back in because I took that out to clean it. It is dry, so maybe we might have to take it back out again and clean it again. But I think it's time to lower the car and see how much these lowering springs and shock absorbers actually lower the car, if anything at all. And then we might even take it for a little quick spin around the block. I hope it works. I hope it doesn't break again because the amount of time and effort I've spent on this car is starting to drive me a little bit insane. I just want to drive it now. I just need it to be my little run around for a little bit. Obviously, we're planning on taking this car to Japfest, so any modifications you want me to do to this car, let me know in the comments section. We're taking it to Japfest this year, and it's going to be the best Ignis Sport there. Maybe. Well, hold on to that for, because as soon as we get this car down off of this jack, we may have run into some small light issues, nothing to do with the way that I've modified this car or done any of the jobs myself, because I am a professional mechanic. But no, honestly, I was super excited to do this. I was super excited to turn the wheels, make sure everything was okay. But just look at my poor little face when I realise something hasn't quite gone right.
Fuck! That was the other side there, wasn't it?
No, it was this side, I'm pretty sure. You'll have to get her in the air for a sec.
I don't want to.
As you can tell at this point, I'd hit the wall and I was absolutely hating life working on this car. I had to do everything that you've already seen in the video once more, take all the wheels off, take the shock absorbers out, take off the springs and see if I've done anything wrong, which realistically I have because otherwise it wouldn't be making the clunking noise. So let's see how on earth I fucked this up because it literally could be anything. Oh, it's all good fun. I love cars. Yeah, I love cars. It's fucking great. I'll tell you what we're doing. I forgot to put the old bearings on, didn't I, lads? So we've got to redo it. Woo! Basically, what was happening, the top of the old shock absorber was getting, not the shock absorber, the top mount and the shock absorber grinding together. So it was going dong, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong. So as you can see, we've now put on some type of spacer and now we're putting the top mounts back on. with some very safe method. As you can see, we're just squishing it down with our hands and ramming the impact driver on it, which gets the screw nice and in there. We did this for both, obviously, and then we put both of them back in the car. And let's see how it turned out. Is the car now working properly? Let me know what you think in the comment section before we actually move on to the next section, because I'm guaranteeing you're not going to get it right. We put the car back on the floor and everything was okay so far. So then we put in the driver's and passenger seats so we can try and take it out for a little spin and see what actually happens. Has this fixed it? God, I hope so, because this has been the most stressful thing in my life. So as you can tell, the car has now moved and it is now functioning properly, sort of. So we're now going to take it out for a first drive. So let's get in the car and take it, shall we? So let's go for the first drive, but not in this video. We're going to be doing that in the next one. So I'll see you in the fucking next one. Oh my gosh. Jesus Christ, big gap. I've got to try and pull away. Oh.
Goodness, fucking on a driving test.